Hello, my name is Shadley, welcome back for another episode of Victoria 3 as Merina Kingdom. In previous episode we just sort of set up the nation and we started building some of the industries. Still got quite a bit of work to do to get a sort of functioning economy, but right now we are, well, we increased the taxes so we're making a bit of money. Not too much, mind you, but a little bit of money. We may have gone a little bit too high on the initial construction, but at the same time we will allow us to get through the factory construction a bit faster and all that, so in the end, it will probably turn out alright, and we're also unlocking the academia very shortly, which means that, well, as soon as that's unlocked, we're going to put in one university to be built in North Madagascar, and we'll slowly but surely start increasing the amount of universities we have, primarily to get just the innovation to be a little bit higher, but also start increasing the literature rates at least a little bit, and another thing, oh, bureaucracy unlocked, good, oh, right. That unlocks government administration, local police force law, international trade. Oh, right, so it leads to various texts. I mean, that's to be expected. And we got the military drill as well. So now if we have a look at the professional army, armed forces would be the one supporting that. The clergy does not support it. So let's say we reform the government to be something like that. And then let's try passing the law. It's only 9%. The landowners do not exactly enjoy that idea. They do oppose this law, but there's a chance that we can pass this, and that's going to make our military a little bit better in the long run. That will probably help. And yeah, the academia is fairly soon done. Oh, right, so yeah, we got... Oh, it's now researching urban planning over there. Alright then. I mean, that's not really too bad. What are we getting in the military? We are getting the gunsmithing. Oh... Now, I do want to get the navigation, though, just so that I can get some infrastructure and all that sort of stuff in here increased before we get to railroads, because we won't have iron, so we won't have steel and so forth, so it's a little bit of a problem. So, paper mills, I'm guessing we got pretty bad demand for wood still. Yeah, it's still fairly high demand. But, well, it's all plus 40% price, so yeah, we do want to start increasing the production even further. We got already one more over here underway. I'm just going to put another one. We're getting the dye plantation, so then we can start using that in the classworks to make... Oh, there we go, academia unlocked. Let's queue up a university in here. So that's good. Expensive government, so fabrics and wood are still very expensive. The economy is still somewhat unhealthy, but we're getting slowly more money. And then in the construction, so we got a lot of, well, sort of rural stuff going on here. We got the university underway at least. And we'll build another university. I think if we start building a university every a few years, initially at least, and then later on probably even more, but like starting, or bureaucratic imbroglio. Okay, we can lose some bureaucracy. Enactment time will be increased, and bureaucrats will be more radical. But there's not that many bureaucrats. And we should still have pretty good legitimacy, so the time to pass this law isn't necessarily that large. Oh, there we go, we got the dye plantation done. We're making a lot more money now, so if we put in the dye plantations stuff to work, get the dyes in here, we'll produce a bit less glass, we'll start producing a lot of porcelain, which there is a large demand for it. And that way we can hopefully get a bit more, well, we'll get a bit more taxes. How's the consumption taxes? Is there anything... Porcelain is a little bit higher, so I'm going to put that in. I'm going to remove the luxury clothing tax. We'll have a little bit more in here. I suppose one thing that I could do is I could start bolstering the armed forces as well right now. Just to get a bit of better chance of passing the professional army. We don't necessarily need to bolster them forever. It's just, you know, to pass this law and reduce the strength of the landowners a bit further. So, did Oman, did you lose the war? No, you still got the war against Egypt. Neither side can lose the war support below 0, I suppose. Egypt is already at 0, to be fair. Whereas Oman is, well, I suppose once the war goes for longer and longer, they'll probably take a while. Oh! What's this then? Oh, it's Ottoman invasion of Egypt. Egypt is supported by France and then USA supporting Ottomans. Apparently USA and Ottomans are working a lot together. French have a bit of stuff there. Oh, right, so Tripolitania. They are a puppet of Ottomans. Well, that's fine. Now, of course, since we are a closed market, we don't need to worry about the wars too much, because it's not going to have that much of an impact on our market. We just need to focus on improving the situation a little bit. Now, we are paying our debts slowly but surely. Backroom dealings exposed. Right, okay, well... I guess we'll take that and not pass this law. There's the mass conscription law that we could oh, no, we can't actually do that one. It's showing that, like, it would have support, let's just say. We could go for the local police force, I suppose. That would, well, that would strengthen, of course, the landowners. And there's not really a lot of turmoil, so probably don't need to do that one. So there's really not that many laws that we could pass anyway. We're still going to be bolstering the armed forces for a little while, at least. Oh, right. Now we get more influence again. We are still improving relations with Egypt, but can we... Oh, right, it also means we don't have common interests. Right, well, let's actually have a look at the diplomatic actions. Whose relations could I improve? Portugal? Oman? I mean, to be fair, how strong is Oman right now? They've probably got like 20 battalions or something. 10. Okay, I've got 20, but of course I'm pretty sure their troops are slightly better quality. They got irregulars with cannons. We got just irregulars. Of course, we can't really do a landing in there in the first place. That's a bit of a problem. But if we could get a landing in there, then it would open up the door to maybe fight Portugal and slowly but surely take the Portuguese colonies here for the, mostly for the iron in Zambezia, but also get a little bit more sort of workforce. There is a decent bit of population in here, about 2.5 million or something. Actually, a bit more than that, like closer to 2.7. But yeah, that is pretty decent. We did get another logging camp already done, and we're building yet another one. Let's have a look at the market. So what do we need badly? Still quite a bit of wood, services, and luxury clothing. Clothing is something that we can't really do. Services is, well, I suppose once we get the... Oh, right, did they stop? Oh, no, they're still trying to fund the textile mills in southern Madagascar. Right, okay. Well, there's that then. We've got a lot of that. I suppose, is there any other industries that we could build in here? Well, government administration is something that we might need eventually, but not yet. And then over here, I suppose we got some of the things already underway. So until we get the shipyards and all that sort of stuff, we don't necessarily need to open up new industries. We could maybe start upgrading some of the existing ones. Like the grocery is some, or one of the things. I don't suppose there's any upgrades that we could do. I mean, we could get some more butchering going, but I don't think the meat price is going to be all that high anyway. But like, if we put in butchering deals, we're actually going to lose a lot. Although, cheaper food is probably not entirely bad thing. We had a bit of tool shortage there for a brief moment, but now the tooling workshop can start producing more. I mean, there is demand for 8 right now, and we've got production of 9, so it's not too bad, and this could produce up to 30 wooden tools, which are with a 20 extra, so it would be 36 that we could produce in here with full production. Oh, Direworks accidents. I suppose we could start strengthening the trade unions as well, not necessarily too bad. If we can get some more of the, like, as we stay as, or if we stay as a kingdom, we can just decide who's in the government at whatever point we want. Ooh, actually, we could do that one, so that opens up a little bit more of the laws potentially, although probably not. But we've got a pretty large government right now, at least. We're making almost almost £2,500 per week right now, so eventually, especially once we pay off more and more of the loans, we should probably queue up some more construction work just to be on the safe side, to start improving our nation even further. I suppose what we could do is we could build a university down here in the southern Madagascar as well. So we can get the innovation to be, instead of 50, to be 54. We could have up to 60, almost 64. And the literacy rate is now 9.2%. So we got quite... Oh, right. Egypt and Oman made truce. Okay. Is Egypt... Oh, I don't think Egypt actually lost anything in that war. Yeah, no, I don't think they did. Alright then. In the war against Ottomans, that is. Well, that's interesting, to say the least. Oh, now we're making £3,000 per week. So things are just getting better and better. Oh, because the private industry finally started working there. Or building the textile mill. That definitely helps. And the GDP is now 1.8 million. We can't really afford increasing our taxation or anything, but we could probably reduce the coffee tax. It's only 200. The tea tax is 300, so if we remove that one as well. First of all, that's going to increase the speed that we can enact things. Of course, there's not a lot of laws that we could try passing. Well, we could try passing the professional army again. Landowners would, again, not really enjoy that. But we'll try regardless. Hopefully we can pass it. And now we're getting the navigation. Is that... spreading national... Oh, no, it's not spreading naturally yet. But we're going to get that in 9 months. And after that, actually, we should queue up something. So distillation will be done soon. After that, we could maybe get... Cotton gin would be mostly for cotton plantations, which we do not have. But lathes would be quite handy. But I think the shaft mining is going to be the one that we're going to do afterwards. Then in the society section, we should probably start getting stuff like... Well, the urban planning will probably be completed. But if it isn't... And put that in, there's the international trade, which would open up, or allow us to maybe open up the market. It's not guaranteed, of course. International relations would lead to colonization. If we do want to colonize, then we might have to do that. So let's go for that one as the third one on the queue there. And that'll probably be good enough for now. So did we get one at university? We did get university already. I don't know if it's going to start having too much of an impact on the literary rate, because the average standard of living is quite poor. But hopefully we can start improving situations at least over time. Because the porcelain isn't making that much money. But at least there's some production there. Is the urban center right? So if we had the coal, we could get that one increasing service production. But right now that's not an option. And oh, there we go, distillation unlocked. Oh, right, actually. If we have a look at the food industry then, we could put in the sweeteners to produce even more groceries, and then if we put in the pot stills, that's a lot of sugar needed, but that's going to allow us to get a lot of stuff there. I'm going to build one sugar plantation in here, so that will, well, okay, sugar is in high demand right now, but that's going to be alright. We'll get some in no time. Public address goes awry. Okay, well, I guess we won't pass that law again. So yeah, I suppose we won't pass any laws for the time being, but once we get the Intelligentsia influential, then currently 3.3, we're still bolstering them, by the way, so it should be improving their clout slowly but surely. Sugar is a bit high at cost, and wood is also a little bit on the high end. Well, it's plus 27%, so it's not that high, but I understand why they are saying that it's still elevated. North Madagascar insurrections. We'll negotiate with the revolt leaders to defuse this, so it's a slave revolt. So landowners do not like that, but at the same time it's probably fine. Although it does reduce the investment pool transfers, so the investment pool itself isn't then doing all that well, but it should be enough to at least build the textile mill. And then they're trying to fund this one, but I suppose... Oh, they got 184,000 saved in the investment pool with 216,000 needed for currently queued private constructions. So they're slowly getting in more there, but of course they're also using a lot of it. There we go, sugar plantation almost done. The actual logging camp will be done soon as well. So what else do we need in our market? Sugar prices now dropping. Good. Services, we need quite a bit. Groceries, I suppose we could expand the grocery or food industry. Give them another level. Especially now there is... yeah, there we go. The shortages have subsided, so we'll build an extra level for that. We'll get an extra sugar plantation. We might get another millet farm as well in here, just to be on the safe side. But now we're making pretty good money again. So what we could do is we could lower the taxes to be on the medium point again. So that way the legitimacy is going to be slightly higher. And also the standard of living should hopefully turn a little bit towards the better results, let's just say. So the logging camp will be done soon. Food industry is then going to start, and then we'll get the... You know what, we might actually want to get the extra resources first before we build the extra food industry. Now, how is the world looking like? Prussia is pretty strong, or looking pretty strong. USA has expanded a little bit to the west at least, I think. Navigation unlocked, there we go, so that unlocks the shipyard, so that's probably something I should build already. And then we're not going to build any of the sort of military shipping yet, or the military ships yet, but we do want to build a fleet sooner rather than later. We'll build a port over there, and we can build a port over here. And we can use the clippers also for fishing, so that's going to allow us to do a lot more money that way. So we could up to, okay, we can have up to about 400,000 pounds in gold reserves. Of course, we're not quite there yet, but we are accumulating at pretty good speed. If we drop the porcelain tax, that would be, okay, that's a 500 pounds per week, so it's not too bad. Of course, if we were to reduce the taxes themselves, so we're still gaining some money, but we can increase the legitimacy, we can start increasing the loyalist numbers and reducing the radicals quite a bit. And, you know, the standard of living will hopefully improve as well. So sugar plantation is almost done. Then there's the millet farm, then there's the food industries and all that. Then the shipyards, ports, and after that we'll see what we need. So, now if we have a look at it, so clothing price is actually fairly high still. So I do understand why they're building it in the south, or southern Madagascar. Furniture is also something we might want to, but I suppose once we get the lathes, that's going to allow us to get some of that going. How's the dye plantation? So dye price is actually fairly low overall. No, the leader of the clergy has retired. We are still bolstering the armed forces, but they are not getting a lot of influence in there. Oddly enough. So is there any... How about if we take these out? But the rule folk... Okay, that would be pretty bad overall. It's gonna keep the current government in there. It's 99 legitimacy anyway, so of course that is with the low taxes. That will probably be good enough for now. If we look at a little bit... Oh! Heavenly Kingdom. So Qing is having a bit of a problem there. That's gonna be interesting. Oh, right, and Britain has a port over here. Is that... Oh, in Zhu. Okay. Great Britain has already started colonizing in Africa. No one's gone into Kenya yet, but that's probably just a matter of time before they get in there. But no political movements or anything, so we are kind of stuck with the laws that we have right now. We could maybe build another university. It's a little bit of extra cost, but at the same time, it's going to make the paper production slightly more profitable. I mean, it's only 5 per level, isn't it? Yeah, it's only 5 paper per level, so that's not too bad. And I suppose the population uses a bit of paper as well. But we're still making a £1,000, well, around £1,000 per week. So that's good. And how is the... Oh, right, they are... Oh, tobacco plantation in northern Madagascar. Okay, so that's what they're funding right now. Well, that's good to know. And yeah, the radical numbers are dropping very, very quickly here now. How's the... Intelligentsia is now almost influential. They're 4.7%. And we just need to wait a little bit longer before they can be brought into... power, and then maybe we can start passing some of the laws. Now, it's not entirely sure if we can, realistically speaking, pass any of them yet, but I wouldn't mind trying to at least end the serfdom, for example. If we could get rule folk into Intelligentsia, both into the power, then we'd have an okay chance of passing that. Then, of course, ending the slave trade would be quite nice as well. So the slavery wouldn't be... Like, if we have a look at, for example... Let's take a sugar plantation here, workforce... So the slaves, they're struggling. The standard of living is pretty bad. And some of these are actually pretty loyalist. That's good to know. And we do have almost 200,000 loyalists off the about 2 million pops that we have. So it's not too bad. How long until the... Okay, 17 weeks for the exile now, and we're going to get the food industry done first then, I suppose. But that is going to be good because the grocery price is already fairly high. The liquor price, on the other hand, is probably going to be relatively low. This is an abolitionist. Ooh, slaves pops would become more radical in southern Madagascar. Trade unions would get some more attraction and approval. Landowners would not like that. But at the same time, ooh, okay, attraction would go down on them. So actually, that will allow us to get some of the other groups influential sooner. So that's fine by me. Create molasses flood. We'll get a bit more radicals. That's probably fine. I mean, we're gaining some, but it's still going down, so it's not really that bad. There we go. Petty bourgeoisie is in power. Okay. We get some more bureaucracy. Not that we really need bureaucracy right now. We use a little bit, like, we don't really have any production either. It's just the 100 base value, and then we get the extra 10% from the petty bourgeoisie. I suppose, is there any... What laws do they support? So there's the police laws, secret police, censorship law dissidents, elected bureaucrats, per capita taxation, proportional taxation, and monarchy and theocracy, ethno-state, racial segregation, national supremacy, closed borders, and migration controls. Oh! So technically speaking, if we wanted to get migration controls, we could bring in petty bourgeoisie into power and then try passing that law. Now, there's of course no guarantee that it would pass, but that would allow us to have some pops at least migrating. If I was to do that, government, petty bourgeoisie, it wouldn't be too bad. Armed forces with petty bourgeoisie would probably be a bit worse. What about the devout? Devout petty bourgeoisie is actually still relatively legitimate government. Okay, so now we can try passing some laws. Not really better tax laws yet because we don't have the text for those. But if we were to go for this one, there's not a lot of support for it. But it's a gamble. I'm willing to take the gamble though, because that would be very important law to have early. So that in the future we will be able to build Madagascar into a pretty large area, for example, with a lot of people moving in. Alright, there we go. So we got the food industry completed. Now we're building shipyards, and I suppose... Oh, well, the private industry isn't doing anything, so that's why we're losing a bit of cash. But it's not too bad. We've got some gold reserves. I'm pretty sure they'll start working on their things soon enough anyway. So now if we have a look at the money... So, actually, I have a feeling. If we look at poll taxes... Right, GDP, so we're getting a decent bit of minting. Alright then, well, I suppose... Oh yeah, our GDP is 2 million already. It's gone down a little bit recently, but it is still growing. We are numbered 45 worldwide, so we've got quite a bit of ways to go. We're slowly working on it. So we get the shipyard, then we're going to get the port, we get the university, and then we'll probably build some other things, because all of these things are, well, other than maybe the shipyard, but all the other things are going to be things that will just cost us more. We're getting the migration controls. I mean, we do have 3 different cultures. Most of it, the population that we have is Malagasy, but then there's the other 2 that there's like tiny populations. So I'm not too worried about that one. But if we get really lucky, I mean, basically right now it would be rolling a nat 20. Foreign phase. Ooh, that's 50% success chance. Devour would not enjoy that, but they are still going to be loyal enough so that we get all the bonuses from them. Ah, there we go. So tobacco plantation underway, so now we're making a tiny bit of money again. And the shipyard will be done soon. That's going to increase the fabric consumption, to be fair. So now we could start at the shaft mining. We are going to get that... Oh, right, so the cotton gin is also spreading to us. We'll get the mining. We can then start using the resource industry in the southern Madagascar. We'll also get a coal mine or 2 in there to start using that for the gas lighting in the urban centers, which we do have on both sides of the island now. Or both halves of the island, so that's already good. How's the population is slowly increasing, but again, since we still have the current ruler, which means that we get +10 mortality rates, it's not going to be going up all that quickly, unfortunately. But we can slowly start improving the situation, I'm sure. Ah, there we go. So we got max relations with Egypt, so Egypt didn't actually appear in here, to be fair. I do wonder if there's... like, Oman, you still got, technically speaking, up to 20 battalions, because you probably would be... doing construction. You got 5 flotillas, so I could probably build up a bigger fleet than they do. How much do we've got? Still 150,000 peasants in the northern Madagascar and 130,000 in the southern Madagascar. Of course, our population is relatively small, so we don't really want to be fighting too many wars. But at least overall, we can probably do some things. Now, to be fair, they've got 5 battalions in here plus 7 conscripts. Oh, so just Oman itself, that's... They've got 5 barracks in there, but that's about it. And then Laristan is separated completely as well, so, well, if we do a landing there, then that would at least occupy some of the stuff. The play for power. Ooh, Intelligentsia. Yes, they should be recognized for this, so now they got 6.7%. Good. And we got 20% chance of passing the law. Citizens of the world. Okay, armed forces are gonna not enjoy that, but at the same time, we get another 20% chance. So now we've got a 40% chance of passing this law. After we do that, we can maybe start bringing the Intelligentsia into the government instead, and start figuring out some laws from there. Oh, and there we go. President has arrived in Kenya, so I won't be able to colonize any of that. But technically speaking, I could still colonize stuff over... Oh, are the Dutch? The Dutch are colonizing Sulawesi now. So that's a bit of a problem. And Papua, I think we need to have the severe malaria colonization available to us, so that would be a problem there. Is there... So that's logging camps and whaling, so I don't... Oh, shaft mining, good. So that's going to unlock the coal mines. I mean, I suppose another place that we could do colonization is somewhere around here. There's logging camps there. Sulfur. Is oil? That is unrecognized power. What about Douala? Is that's decentralized? And of course, oh, hold on a minute, Congo. Around Congo over here, we could First of all, it's Congo itself. That is unrecognized power. But if we were to do colonization in Longo, but of course I don't have the interested place in there yet. We need to increase our, well, probably GDP or prestige in general, to be fair, to become one of those. But then we could maybe colonize over here in the West Africa, or like Central Africa, I suppose, and then take Congo over, and then we can get some iron mines from there. There's not massive pops in here, 500,000 in there. But like claim some of this area, then we could claim some of the lands from Portugal actually over on this end as well. Let's have a quick look at the strategic regions. So that's Congo. We're in Sanje right now, and some of the Portuguese area over here is part of Southern Africa. There we go. There's the law that we failed to pass the entire time in the Hejaz. Well, one of the laws that we failed to pass the entire time. So there we go. That's one of the things that done. Let's switch the government a little bit. So let's kick those out, get the Intelligentsia in. It does mean that the legitimacy is going to be fairly bad, admittedly, so it's going to be quite slow. I don't suppose there's... No, that wouldn't increase it. I'm just going to double check if there's... No. Any ways to increase the legitimacy with this? Probably not, to be fair. Nope. But we can still get them in power. I suppose at this stage we can stop bolstering the armed forces for the time being, so that we're not necessarily taking too much away. Serfdom. So if we try to pass this one, landowners would hate that. We've got 6.8% chance of passing this, so it's not a lot. But I think we could probably try that. Other one is the slave trade ban, but that's minus 20 on the stuff there. So we might have to start reducing their power first. And this one, it wouldn't anger them too much. So let's try passing it. There's no guarantee that it will pass, but there's a chance. We're now getting some immigration in here. Not necessarily migration within our nation yet, but the possibility is open there. Oh, and we get some more infrastructure per 100,000 pops, so that's good. We get a bit more infrastructure overall in our nation now, which is going to allow us to increase our things a bit further. Oh, right, that actually reminds me. Development, let's make sure that we use the clippers in the port. And also, for the fishing, we can start using the clippers. That's going to give us a bit more fish. Not necessarily all that much profit, but, you know, it's still better than nothing. Legitimacy is a little bit on the low end. It's going to take a while to pass this law. But if we can get lucky, and especially since we are bolstering the Intelligentsia, they should be getting more and more sort of support for it. Well, at least in theory. In practice, it might not be that much. Landowners still own about, or have about half the cloud. So that does cause a few issues there, let's just say. But we're slowly building up our nation, and it's not looking too bad right now, so I'm pretty happy about that one. We still are on low taxes. We could increase the taxes if need be, but that would lower the legitimacy even further. It wouldn't go into a lower bracket, to be fair. So we could probably do that, just to not lose too much money. Of course, we could always put in some consumption taxes, like the tea tax back. So now we're making a ton of money again. Nothing massive, but of course we're building a lot of ports and such, so that is causing a bit of extra expenditure, as well as the university. Let's have a look at the market. So furniture manufacturing could use a bit of an upgrade, plus maybe a little bit more livestock ranches. So let's get another livestock ranch here, and then we'll get another furniture manufacturing. Hidden communities. So more radicals from discrimination, or industrialists and trade unions get more approval, and landowners lose some. That would... Oh, I don't really want to take that one. So I'll take the radicals for now. Mostly because I don't want to get the minus 20% agricultural, ranching, and plantation tax income, because we're going to need those incomes. Industrial boom. Oh, well. Also, well, I'm going to build a coal mine over here in the southern Madagascar by now. And we could actually switch the... I mean, we got a decent bit of agriculture in here, but it's probably not going to be too bad. So we're going to remove the agricultural industry decree, and we're going to put in the resource industry decree in there instead. So there we go, that's going to allow us to get a little bit more wood, for example. So the wood price should start dropping. I mean, we've still got quite a bit of deficit in, well, a decent deficit in there, let's just say. Fabrics, of course, are now even more expensive, so let's just build another livestock ranch down there. So we're going to be building quite a few of them. But we need a lot of fabric, and we can't really get fabric through other means right now, let's just say. There we go, so we've got another port, and now we're getting the university. Losing... Okay, a tiny bit of money here, but that's not really too bad. We don't have any debt right now, so the interest rate is not going to be a problem. Purchasing emancipation. So we can use some bureaucracy to get 10% success chance there. I'm going to take that. If we're going to abolish the serfdom, that's going to unlock the religious education, for example, and other laws like that. So we can start getting the literacy rate going up. It's going to start reducing or improving the standard of living, actually, because they will no longer be serfs or anything like that. And if we could then ban the slavery, it wouldn't be immediately necessarily, but we could maybe do some other laws first and then return and ban the slavery, and that way we can get the standard of living be probably around 10 on average, at least for the lower classes, assuming that we can keep the market somewhat balanced. Grocery price is actually pretty high there. Is there production problems here? They are not hiring everyone. Oh, because the grain price is actually a little bit on the high end, so we could probably get another millet farm, just to be on the safe side. So we do need a lot of food, but of course once we get the... Well, it's not really spreading to us yet, but the intensive agriculture would fix a lot of that. So we're getting the cotton gin right now. We're also getting the international relations in society, so that one. We could try to go for colonization, but there's... Well, I suppose there is that area. If we start colonizing there, it would be very slow. And that would allow us to get some coal. There's not a lot of pops in the state, actually. Only 70,000. But of course, then we need to pass the law first to be able to start colonizing anyway. But we are actually out of time for this episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.